Galileo was burnt to death at the stake for finding out truth about our world against worldview at the time. Jesus went against worldview at his time, and was killed as a result. Going against worldview in the West can lead to death, even in today's world, for finding solution to loneliness epidemic that is against today's worldview. How can this be? Well, all it takes can be as simple as keeping a person from having money needed to live normal life, resulted with him losing most of what requires money to maintain, from relationship to social life. According to psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson, the reason people can feel like death after a bad breakup is because the self of a person that only exists in front of their romantic partner will stop existing after the breakup. So feeling of death in this case is describing something real. But what is the evidence of the person finding the solution to loneliness epidemic for losing almost everything needed money to maintain, after finding this solution? Simple. Dr. Peterson believes his student Godwin found solution to loneliness for most people, with Dr. John Verveek as supervisor for 3-year testing of this solution. A 900-page paper was only taken to Dr. Peterson, since Trinity College Dean Professor Dr. Derek Allen said Godwin was being treated unfairly by the university. As University Provost Dr. Jill Mattis asked Godwin to create business plan teaching how the university can help students to get out of loneliness, based on 8 years of work he did at the time. Later Dr. Mattis told Godwin University did a focus group study to verify whether if Godwin's writing was accurate about most students were having difficulty in making friends, unless what is known today as peer mentoring can be available for most students, along with teachings of wisdom. So Godwin's name should get mentioned in this study. But Dr. Allen didn't see Godwin's name mentioned in this focus group study, and said this could be why Godwin cannot find jobs in this area helping students. Dr. Allen said, employers need to see credit by university to verify if Godwin played a key role in ending student loneliness, before they would hire him. Without a job in this area, if Godwin still continue with his effort and research to help lonely students, Godwin would have no choice but endure poverty for years, losing everything needed money to maintain, from relationship to social life, gone. This may not make sense to people, unless for writers, as writers knew if they don't write down idea when it arrives, they might never remember it again. Except it can be a problem for one with non-stopped ideas. So Dr. Allen offered to help Godwin to find job related to ending student loneliness, by introducing him to Innis College Dean Donald Bohr in 2011. But Bohr said to Godwin, he could not understand why no one could find the solution to loneliness for most students, except for Godwin. So Bohr asked Godwin to produce a writing in academic format with citations for this purpose. This was the reason Godwin turned some of what he knew on this topic into a 900-page writing. But Godwin only let Dr. Peterson and Dr. Katrina Scott to read it, as after how Godwin was being treated by the university, his father told him, as a business veteran, all people in the working world care is job security or keeping their job, and they would not allow anyone to have a chance to take their place at work, whether it has to do with helping most students to get out of their loneliness or helping customers to invest money, makes no difference. So by this point Godwin realized cost of solution to loneliness epidemic include years of poverty for solution creator, at least for him, which is enough as no one else received support by psychologists and professors for finding such solution in last 70 years. Next step is finding evidence that can prove the university and students do not share the same interest on how student can get access to what can help most students to get out of loneliness, since this is what parents and students must know, before they realize they need to take matter into their own hands, instead of continuing to rely on university decision makers to work things out. In a 2018 meetings with university, Godwin learned the university didn't need solution to loneliness for most students, as Godwin was told this following when Dr. Ferrari was there, that according to university policy, university can refuse to promote a program unless it has ownership of this program, even when Dr. Ferrari hired Godwin to create this program to end student loneliness. So launching the program was impossible as students wouldn't believe a program is official unless it can be viewed from official university broadcast channel. But isn't a right to know as part of human rights like freedom of expression include right to receive information? This shows a stark difference between interest of students and interest of university and proved the two sides clearly do not share the same interest. What happened to Godwin that kept him from helping students can't be said as isolated incident, as it had happened 3 times over a span of years. According to Dr. John Verveek, who taught a course called Thinking, Reasoning, and Problem Solving, what happened 3 times is a pattern, unlike isolated incident can be change resistant, so it can be viewed as a public concern. As what program is available for helping students should not be restricted from official university broadcast channel, and if it happened, then it should not be kept from the public, since solution to loneliness for most people, when it is available, is a topic of public interest. According to CBC News article published in 2016, nearly 70% students battle loneliness during school year, survey says, so perhaps we should let university or Dr. Ferrari's department head to explain to students suffering in loneliness about why did he stop Dr. Ferrari from launching of a program that Dr. Ferrari hired Godwin to direct after creating it to help students to get out of loneliness, and told Dr. Ferrari to meet with another university department with Godwin for launching of. This program, except money Godwin could be getting would greatly reduced from getting $200 each from possibly thousands of students each year, to one-time payment of a few $100s. So if Godwin accepted it, that is similar to being suckered into a scheme that would cost Godwin dearly. In other words, this department head should explain to students, how did he expect Godwin to accept offer back in 2018 to give up ownership of program based on unpaid work Godwin did since 2001 for only a few $100s? Plus, when Godwin refused to accept such demeaning offer from the university, what would be the justification for university students to be left with no effective solution for years that could help them to get out of loneliness? In addition, Lucy Fromowitz was VP of Student Life in 2011 that told Godwin the university did not have money to hire him to help ending loneliness for students. So Godwin asked her to see if the university could ask each student to pay an extra $1 for their tuition. She said no. Because of Fromowitz's decision, students were never able to pay $1 to learn the solution from Godwin. Dr. Verveek and Dr. Ferrari knew this in 2011, as they supported Godwin to get the university to agree to let Godwin to create a service to help students, so only fact-check with professors supported Godwin can reveal the real story behind who people must now help, who may not emerge again in 70 years.